Hey there, it's Tim from Centennial. So, I'm not a financial advisor, but all of my clients have or are looking for capital, lending, and loans. And so, as a result of that, I've had to learn everything about them, and I want to just nail down the 6 questions that every founder needs to answer for themselves before they search and seek out these capital loans. In another video, I'm going to go through each of the options: Shopify, Stripe, Brex, Clearco, formerly Clearbank, and explain the pros and cons. But this is really a precursor to that, really to make sure you nail down the right answers before you start talking to these organizations and trying to get capital. So let's go for number 1. How fast do you need this money? Different providers will be able to supply you capital much quicker or much slower than others. So you need to know, what is your timeline? When do you need it by? And what's your run rate? All that stuff you need to have ahead of time. Number 2, how much? Very obvious, but you need to nail down what you're going to be using it for so you can have an accurate estimate for how much money, because some of these providers can only loan so much to you based on the other questions we're going to run through in a second. So how much money do you need? Take your best guess before you inquire. Number 3, what's your financial history and your business's financial history? This greatly influences the ability of loans depending on the platform you're seeking. Simple, but obvious, and one of the biggest disqualifiers for people. Number 4, what are you financing? Is it payroll? Is it inventory? Is it marketing budget? Get clear on what your needs are. For most of our clients, it's advertising budget, but for you, it might be very different. It might be inventory, it might be equipment. That's going to very much influence. Number 5, which is, do you need this capital once or is it ongoing? For example, if it's for new equipment, you might just need it once. If it's going to be for payroll, that's ongoing. If it's going to be for inventory before you sell that inventory, that's ongoing. Again, in a separate video, I'll nail down and kind of explain which provider might be best for options like that if it's ongoing. But for now, it's just understanding ahead of time what you need it for, what's the cadence you're going to need it for. And number 6, what are you willing to pay? Interest or equity? If you have other investors, it's going to get a little complicated, especially if you're seeking out capital from outside sources. So it's best to get clear on that. Some won't accept equity, some will. Again, in a separate video, I'll nail down who and what that is. But for now, it's best to have these answers to these questions ahead of time. So that's really all I got. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I just work with e-commerce clients day in and day out. I understand what their needs are, and especially when it comes to getting the money to spend and grow their business. So hopefully this helped. Stay tuned for future videos where I'll go through each of the major platforms and kind of nail down the pros and cons. See you later.